Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. A little late to the game today. It is December 30th, 2025. So obviously I won't be going live tomorrow for New Year's Eve. And of course, New Year's Day. Those 2 days are pretty much like off the table. So if anything, I decided to go ahead and do one more final live stream today. Just, really open talk, not really a deep discussion or anything like that regarding mobile tech, but just what's on my mind and just kind of reflecting on the entire year of 2025. Also, just to go publicly to thank all of you guys for being major supporters of the channel, coming in and watching the live streams and whatnot, thumbs upping the videos. And this year they decided to bring out the hype button, and some of you guys have been hyping up my videos and I appreciate it. And so yeah, I just definitely want to thank a lot of you for that. Does not come easy. So to stay on YouTube for as long as I have, I get pretty shocked. I get definitely shocked. But anyways, welcome in, guys. So yeah. It's been a crazy last couple of months here on the channel with everything that's gone on. A lot of device update reviews on devices that I currently have possession of. Just some really cool stuff that were sent my way from some of you guys, that I really appreciate it. And then obviously, getting the Pixel 10, getting the Pixel 9a. So a lot of those things, reflecting back and just taking this year, looking at this year and everything that my channel has done this year compared to what it was, in 2016 and 2013 and all the way back to 2011. It's just like absolutely weird. And I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite moments. I'll talk about that in this live stream today. You guys are more than welcome to ask questions, throw your thoughts out there in the chat. It is there for you guys. So what up, B-Tech? It's there for you guys. So if you guys want to also answer, the Q&A, the question today that, I would like everyone to just pretty much get into is, what was your favorite device of 2025? I had different plans basically for today. I was actually going to do a live stream putting the OnePlus 9 on Android 16. Of course, that has to be put to a halt because OnePlus has this thing that, I totally forgot you had to do it. And, it was absolutely crazy. So anyways, I came across this basically early this morning, like at 2 o'clock in the morning. Happy New Year, Titus. What's up? Happy New Year's to you, B-Tech. But like, I came across this at like 2 o'clock. Well, no, not 2, about midnight. I came across this. Couldn't sleep, so I decided to read on it. Evolution X bringing Android 16 over to the OnePlus 9. And, so I was like, oh, cool. Let me see what's up. So, I went in and just kind of like looked at the info. This is the info on it, and it is for the OnePlus 9. It's not for the, this is not the Pro model one. This is the regular OnePlus 9. Looks like a developer decided to work on it, so big shout out to that developer, Giovanni, who is the developer who built this for the OnePlus 9. OnePlus 9 doesn't get a lot of love on XDA, I've noticed. The 9 Pro does, but not so much the 9. So it was very refreshing to see this. And there's 2 different versions that Giovanni made. So Android 16 and then Android 16 Vanilla. Now, what's the difference between them? Android 16 is basically more geared towards like the Pixel experience. So it is basically, technically an AOSP custom ROM. So it doesn't have a lot of Oxygen OS influence on it, which I'm totally fine with. I mean, yeah, it's going to be kind of sad when I do switch it over to the Android 16 from Evo X, only because a lot of the stuff that Oxygen OS does have, it won't have those things. So, but I'm totally cool with that, to bringing new life into the OnePlus 9 and bringing it up to Android 16. And then Android 16 vanilla is where you have basically just Android 16, no Google apps and services installed. So if you wanted like the Play Store, well, I think the Play Store would be there, but like if you wanted like the other Google app services like Chrome browser and Google Meets and all that other stuff, you would actually have to install those. So it's a lot more lighter, but I was gonna go with the regular Android 16. I don't think that this pretty much has like the Material 3 expressives, and I don't know if Giovanni's going to continue to work on it, but you know what? I'll throw it in the chat, and I'll put it in the description later on. So if people want to actually go check it out, you got a OnePlus 9, you want to go ahead and update it, you can update it, and then you know what? Click the dono button for him, and let's support him and whatnot. So it gives you like all the stuff you need to download. It gives you instructions how to install. The reason why I can't do this today, it totally sucks, is because OnePlus's policy on unlocking the bootloader. So no, it's not locked down per se, where you can't get it unlocked. You can, but in order to unlock the bootloader, you would have to email. Well, not email, but you have to submit a request to OnePlus, basically giving the IMEI number of the device, giving it the unlock token. Well, it's an unlock code, technically. You get an unlock code from the fast boot, and you plug that into the application on OnePlus, along with the IMEI, the serial number of the phone, and then the email address, and you send it off to them. And what happens is that they send you a unlock token. So this is a bin file that you need so that when you go into the fastboot and you try to do the command to unlock the bootloader, which is fastboot space flashing unlock, or fastboot face OEM space OEM unlock. So one of those two will unlock the bootloader. But in this case, because they have it where you have to verify with OnePlus and get that token, that anytime that you try to do that, it's just going to tell you that you don't have a valid token to unlock the bootloader. So I have to wait for this, and a lot of people have posted on XDA that it could take up to 7 business days for OnePlus to email me this file. So I have to wait about a week, and I submitted that request this morning. I figured, like the holidays and stuff like that, so probably like mid-January, I'll probably have a video where I'm just going to show how to install Android 16 on a OnePlus 9, and hopefully there's more development for the OnePlus 9. Like, I really like the OnePlus 9 phone, I really do, and it's one of the hardest things when you have to like put life back into a phone yourself. Unless you know people that know how to do this, then you're pretty much at the mercy of yourself. So just kind of keep that in mind. So yeah, currently right now, my daily driver devices is the OnePlus 9, Pixel 9a, sorry. Pixel 9a. I'm still sore over having to wait for OnePlus to send me that freaking token, but Pixel 9a and the Galaxy A53. I am actually looking to possibly upgrade from the A53. Like it's gonna get One UI 8.5. It already has One UI 8, so it doesn't have a lot of the influences of Material 3 expressive just yet, but it is on Android 16, which is crazy because my Galaxy S21 doesn't get it doesn't get the One UI 8. So that's really sad. I think it definitely could. The Samsung Galaxy S21, I think it definitely could. And so I was kind of looking through the market because I was like thinking like, okay, if I can't get this to Android 16, maybe I'll find like a Galaxy S22. So I was actually kind of looking around for that. I found a couple of them, but then I was like, my Galaxy A53, which has like the weirdest thing ever to it. I mean, it can still go. It's on its final end of life. So like after, if it gets a One UI 8.5, that's pretty much it. Everything from there is just going to be software support, and it's going to be slow software support. So it's not going to be like monthly patches or anything like that. Maybe like once every 3 months or something, and then boom, it's just done, end of life. So I was thinking of either getting a Galaxy A56 to replace this, or a Galaxy A36. I think B-Tech got the A36, and I know he did like a slight review on it and everything. So I mean, you know, if he wants to like post post in the chat what he thinks of the A36. My favorite devices are ones with long battery life and good photography. So toss a couple of names out there. Like, you know, it's us. We're vibing right now. You know, we're just chilling for like a good hour. So yeah, just toss one out there. Like, for me, if I'm gonna go on battery, I'm gonna go with Pixel 9a. I mean, the battery is just insanely good on this. Pixel 10's battery is pretty good too, and I don't know what it is. You know, I mean, like I got the Pixel 10. I really like the phone. I like using it and use it from time to time. But if you guys don't know, like I'll switch my primary SIM from here to here, just, you know, because I always carry a Pixel with me. That's just like, that's how it is. And you know, my Metro line, I'll put it on this, on the Nothing phone or iPhone, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And so that's the line of service that kind of like travels with devices that I'm testing out for review. But primary is always going to be in a Pixel, and it's always between these two. But majority of the time, it's been in the Pixel 9a. I don't hate the Pixel 10. I don't. It's just, I mean, look at it. It's a really nice looking phone, in my opinion. It is, but I have to wrap it with a case. I don't want to drop it and crack the back of it or any of that stuff. It's just so superly expensive today to get your phone repaired. So I don't want to do that. But you know, I have this bad habit where I don't really like a case on my phone. Like if I'm going to rock a phone, I'm going to rock it like this. You know, the most that I'll do to protect it is just putting a screen protector on it, which, you know, this one already has, and I've already cracked the screen protector. So, you know, I'll probably end up getting another one. I really want one of those ones that have like privacy, you know, like a privacy screen protector, but those suck when it comes to biometric fingerprint unlock. I'm just saying. The second one, my Galaxy A53. The reason why I really like using this phone is that, you know, it's a plastic body build. I don't really have to worry too much about putting a case on it. Of course, you guys can tell how old this phone is. It's got, you know, those fingerprint smudges, and somebody who sees this is bound to be like, yo, clean your screen. And it's like, bro, shows I use it. I don't know. I just think that this is proof that I actually use the phone, you know, but I don't like rocking a case on it. You know, this, the same reason that, you know, I like the Galaxy S21. You know, the plastic back on it is pretty solid, and I don't have to rock a case on it. I just don't like cases. I'm weird like that. Like, I'll tell people, like, hey, you know, you got like a $700 phone, invest in a case, which is why I have cases for my Pixel 10. But, I mean, my favorite case right now is this from KW Mobile, and I wish they made more of these for the different devices that I have. Like, I keep looking to see if they have one for like the Galaxy A53. I look and I see if they have one for the S21. I know they have one for the iPhone 12, but they don't have one for the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which I'm going to be selling here soon. I actually found a shop where I'm going to start trying to get this thing going on with it, because the guy that runs the shop here, he's got a bunch of devices and everything that, you know, he puts up for sale. And if I could periodically go in, get a device, review it, hold on to it for a little bit, I can sell it back to him as a trade-in and on towards a different device. So if the device is like the same price of what he buys them back for, then I can just easily trade in and get the other phone and just set it up and use it. If it costs more, I can pay the difference. If it costs less, I'll probably see if he has like in-store credit to just keep a credit of how much that I have credit on, so that if I go in the next time to, you know, switch out a phone or whatnot, then I have that credit on there to apply. Like the Moto Edge 2023, I think you meant to say, not 2033, unless I'm in the Twilight Zone. We are actually in the year 2033. No, I know what you meant. Battery life is starting to lag, especially while gaming. Waiting to see if they come out with the Edge Plus. I mean, they've had multiple Edge Pluses. I think there's like, what, an Edge 90. Yeah, man. Pretty much look at the, you know what, let's do that real quick. Let's go to Motorola. I'm gonna take myself off cam here for a second, and then yeah, let's go to Moto. I was about to say Moto Surf. If you know the reference of where that comes from what movie it comes from, your life was freaking awesome. If you don't remember all too much based on just that Moto Surf, then Surf Ninjas. Oh man, if you guys ever saw that movie, let me know. Let me know if you guys ever seen Surf Ninjas, which was like crazy as hell. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Let's shop phones. Let's go to the Edge series, which happens to be, I guess, Motorola's flagships. Yeah, I mean, they got a Moto Edge 2025, $549.99, and then they got the 2024 model. So you might as well go for the newer one. They're the same price. Yeah, they're definitely same price and everything. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let me see who's hitting me in the chat. B-Tech had to dip out. He'll catch the replay later. Yeah, not a problem at all. But anyways, yeah. So Motorola, you know, not bad. They got a deep forest color, and then the Edge 2024 has a midnight blue color. But that 2025 and the 2026 should be coming out here soon. Yeah, so like I was saying, you know, I do want to upgrade. There's a couple of people locally selling some devices, some Galaxy A36s and then A56s. And I know the Galaxy A36 is just, you know, it's just a little bit, you know, bigger. If I was to say anything, it's a little bit bigger, 6.6 inch display on the A36. So, oh, wrong scene. Yeah, FYI, you know, I got a background and decided to, you know, just make my own little background on here. So you guys see the social platforms down there below, basically Instagram and X. You guys can follow me there if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube. And anyone that wants to, you know, give donos to the channel, my Venmo's up there. That's the Venmo username that I have. So if you want to send something, anything helps. That's totally up to you guys. It's optional. But anyways, yeah, definitely want to look into upgrading for the Galaxy A53. It's gonna be very tough if I do that, because I almost was about to go to the A54, which, you know, I know it's like a 2-year-old device. Somebody had one on OfferUp for sale for like $80 this morning. So, you know, I pretty much like put it in my saved section on OfferUp so I can go back to it and message the seller. And after I did an Amazon Flex this morning with my wife, I got back on OfferUp, went to message the lady, and boom, long and behold, it was shown as sold. I was like, oh, my heart sank. I was like, oh man, because like every other person that has a Galaxy A54, like insane amount of money they want for it. Like some dude was trying to sell his for like $400, and he's all like, firm price, don't ask, low balls will be ignored. I'm just like, man, $400 is pretty steep for a phone that's 2 years old, you know. I'm not gonna argue with people about it, you know. This is like one of the things that I do, and sometime in 2026 I'll talk about that, like how do I find these phones on OfferUp, and like what do I initially do. And I might actually just wait until I'm going to buy something from OfferUp, and then I'll just make an entire vlog on how I do it and message the seller, let them know like, hey, I create content and I'm going to be showing people like how I do this. So if they're good to be on camera, or if I need to make sure that I don't get them in the shot at all, so then that way, you know, I can make that video and show you guys what I do, what types of, you know, caution, you know, that I take, and how do I tell, you know, what is legit, what is not. I'm gonna do all that because sometimes people just don't want to go buying brand new. You know, they would rather save a couple of dollars, you know, in theory, and just go with, you know, a secondhand smartphone. I mean, when people talk about it, it's so funny. There's just like this thing that goes on about offer up, and people are just like, yo, man, it's a secondhand phone. And it's like, yeah, but you buy from eBay, you buy from Back Market, you buy from Facebook Marketplace. Like, those are secondhand used as well. So what's the difference really? And yeah, it's crazy. So I do want to kind of like, that's one of the things that I do want to start doing throughout 2026 is just how do I get these devices, places that I shop and go to. Coffee, what's up? Welcome in. And just just give everybody insight on just how I do this stuff and how I get these phones and how I'm able to do what I do. So that's going to be the plan for 2026. A lot more Pixel content, because looking back at every video that I've done in 2025, the Pixel videos are the ones that get the most views. So with that, basically, without vocally saying it, most people that have subscribed to my channel have subscribed for the Google Pixel content, and so I need to continue that with a mix of other things too. So like I said, I like using other devices alongside my Pixel, so that's a crazy thing. But the Galaxy A53, very interesting phone. For how long it's still supported. It's crazy to me how it is. And the funny thing is, and I noticed this about it, it's just so crazy. So like right now, if I go into it, I mean, for the most part, it is what it is. It's a budget phone, right? So it's not going to be like 100% super smooth, but this is considered what I consider for it to be smoother than normal, right? Even though you see like a little bit of, there's a little bit of frame drops and stuff like that. You can see it clearly. You can see it. But the crazy thing is that this lags out so much more when I have a physical SIM card inside of it. It's just the weirdest thing ever. I had put it down for a while because I was thinking, like, after it took the One UI 8 software update, I was like, okay, it's acting a little weird, so I really didn't want to deal with it, so I just kind of like moved my SIM to another device, powered it off, put it on the desk. I would come back to it later when I'm ready to like make another video on it as the subject. And then so today I was just like, I'm gonna put my SIM inside of it, but I was like, I had to reinstall Instagram and all that stuff because with the SD card inside of the A53, I was able to move majority of the metadata of the app onto the SD card to alleviate storage. I mean, it's 128 gigs of internal storage, but I was just like really trying to just like, just alleviate a lot more of that space. And so I did that. And when I was doing the review for the Moto G Power 2025, which also takes an SD card, I took the SD card out of the A53 and put it in the Moto, forgetting that I didn't put it back in the A53. I powered on the device, so a lot of those apps weren't there. You would see like a little ghost icon image of where they used to be at, and it just said SD card, which meant that the SD card's not in there. So I just decided to delete all those apps off the phone, reinstall them all back in, sign in back into them, right? So I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. So that I started noticing, I was having breakfast and I was like, man, this thing is running smoother. It's running so much smoother. Why? And I realized, like, wait, the SD card's not in there. So I was like, wait, so, to tell me if an SD card's in there, it's going to start acting sluggish. So, hindsight, took the SD card out of the Moto, powered off the Galaxy, popped open the SIM tray that has the SD card slot with it, put the SD back into the phone, powered it back on. And as it was booting up and everything, I started to notice the animations were a bit janky. And just when scrolling through apps, it was so much frame drops, so much jitter, and just like, whoa. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's because I resetted the phone. Like, not reset, but like I rebooted the phone. So I was like, okay, well, no, let's test again. Popped out the SD card and put it to the side and then powered the phone back on. And, it started to act up a little weird as it was booting on. And then it just got smoother. And I was like, wait a minute. And so now, for this being, came out in 2022. So a three-year-old mid-range. I was like, man, this is crazy, It's a lot smoother than with the SD card. I mean, it ain't going to be as fast as my Pixel. It's not going to be as smooth as it. But it does have 120 hertz refresh if I wanted to turn that on. But, I'm more concerned about battery than I am about, how things scroll. So I don't care for the 120 hertz. That's just me. It's a personal preference. Something that I see that on my YouTube comments from people, like they always have like their preferences and they always try to push that on me. Then I have to like tell them like, hey, that's why you shouldn't buy the phone. Like when people tell me the Pixel 10's modem is weak, okay, well maybe that's why you shouldn't buy the phone. But for my case point, using Visible with it, Visible's been just fine. Visible's just fine on my Pixel 9a. Like I don't have any problems. Like in home, this area has bad reception anyways, and it could also be, the building structure of the townhouse is the way that it is. And because as soon as I go outside, get my car, maybe I get like, halfway through the property to the other side, and then the, speed kicks up. But even though, like, say like right now, I'll show you guys, I'll do a speed test just for the hell of it. Let me get off Wi-Fi though, for sure. Turn the Wi-Fi off real quick. Clear all that out. And I'm on the base plan. I'm not on the Visible Plus or Visible Plus Premium Pro Package Platinum. Ha! I hijacked that from Chris Pirillo. If you guys don't watch Chris Pirillo, watch his videos and notice when he talks about the Samsung Galaxy S Ultra, like whatever Ultra one he has, he just ends up going on in this tangent connection to it about Pro Premium Plus Platinum Package. That's what he calls it. It's funny when he does it. He's more funnier than me. Anyways, let's see. Well, okay, we'll do it on coverage map. I'll use Stetson's app for the speed test, and then you guys can see like what it's going to be. Let me mark it accordingly that we're in indoor, and then I'll just hit speed test, and you will see. I mean, that is my. Well, you guys can't see because it's so far down, so I'll just bring it up to you guys so you guys can focus on there. 38 down. 38 down, about like 2 megabits per second on the uplink. This is the speeds indoor, okay, and it's the same thing. Like I'll pop Metro on right now, and we'll do a speed test in coverage map as well. I think I'm getting sick. I don't know. Okay, but that server. So let's change the server here, and let's go Los Angeles. We'll go to the server in Los Angeles. Yep, same one that was on Visible. We'll do it this. Okay, so let's do that. And well, there you have it, Metro. Right, like indoor for some reason is just absolutely weak. 4G only? No, not 4G only. I mean. Low band 5G, yeah, which is very similar to LTE. Yeah, so that's Metro indoor. And yeah, okay, yeah. So the speeds are that. So here's the thing. Speed tests kind of give you an idea of what to expect of your service connection, but it's not the telltale all. Because even like in places where Metro can get speeds of like 500 down and 80 on the uplink, and Visible will do like 60 on the down and like 10 on the uplink. People will just automatically assume like, okay, 500 down is way better, so the service is way better. But it's not even that. It's network quality, and this is something that I had a great conversation with Carlos S Tech the other day. Like he reached out to me. We talked on a call real quick. I'm glad to know that he's feeling better. Glad to know that he's happy. And, so we were talking about network quality because I don't know. I think he mentioned something, and then I was telling him like, yeah, I noticed with Visible, but basically with any Verizon carrier, whether it's Verizon themselves or their prepaids or any of the MVNOs, the speed tests tend to be, lower numbers than AT&T or T-Mobile. However, Verizon-based connections always seems to be better. Like, live streaming, not live streaming, but like, viewing a video on YouTube, it's quick. There's not a lot of hang on the load time, and it doesn't buffer. And live streaming from a mobile device, like I can be in a very weak area, 50 megabits down, 10 or maybe like 5 megabits on the uplink with visible, and do a live stream on my mobile phone, and it doesn't get pixelated. And then I could be in an area where it's like a gig of speed down on Metro and 80 megabits per second on the uplink with a 19 millisecond ping. Maybe the loaded ping on the down is like 364. Maybe the loaded ping on the uplink is like, 270. And yet there's times where the live stream gets pixelated. It gets a little glitchy and everything. And the reason why that is, it's called network quality. So speeds is not everything. And this is something that I think, and the message that I'm going to be pushing in 2026 to try and get people to understand. Like, they don't have to believe me. You can do your research. There's tons of websites that can tell you and tell the tale. But network quality is a very, very real thing. Okay? Speed test numbers don't tell you the network quality. In the conversation that we talked about network slicing. And exactly what is that going to be? And, the possibility in the future, which, one day I'll get on the live stream with Carlos, and I think he and I are just going to really have a conversation about that and talk about network slicing and what does it actually mean. We're going to try to put it in layman terms perspectives for everybody to understand, because network slicing, in my opinion, is the future. It's already happening now. Like, there's already talks of carriers that's about to do this. They don't care about the speeds, One of the things that Carlos made mention that I agree with him on is, like he said, the whole thing with network speed testing doesn't really do anything for a person other than give you a monetary number to look at and say, okay, is this good or bad? And that's pretty much it. And when you go and you post your speed test results on social media, like I've done, you're just doing free advertising for that company, but that's why when people talk about that they had a crappy experience and then other people are like, well, my speeds is pretty good, I get like a gig down, man, I don't know what you're talking about. The speeds don't tell everything. It's the network quality that tells everything. And of course, network slicing plays a big part into that, because with network slicing, to give you an example, just a kind of like little prequel to the conversation I'm going to have with Carlos on a featured live stream, maybe on his channel, because he said he's going to get back into live streaming. So maybe I'll be a guest on his channel. But it's like this. Say, you're a gamer. Okay. You're a mobile phone gamer. You love to game on your mobile device. And you're getting, 500 megabits down, 100 megabits on the uplink, right? With the ping time is like maybe 15 milliseconds. Sounds really good. There's a difference between your base connection than if you were to purchase a little network slice where you let your carrier know, like, hey, I do a lot of mobile gaming, so I need a higher priority uplink to live stream my mobile gameplay. So yeah, you're buying a slice. You're buying the access to having a higher priority of an uplink versus someone else who may be like into streaming music and stuff like that. So they'll get a higher priority on the downstream, for music or for video. Maybe you like downloading major heavy intense files, and you want to get them quick, and so you'll purchase a slice that puts you in a higher priority download. So it's not really about the speeds. The speeds, no one really cares. The carriers don't care. Well, in another perspective, it's like this. Everyone always assumes that 5G, in the very, very beginning days of 5G being out there, even I made this mistake of thinking that this is how it was. I was always primarily focused on the speeds. I was always like, 5G speeds, you're going to get like gigabit per second download speeds and stuff. And yes, that is a part of 5G, but that's not the whole telltale. The main thing about it was these level of priority access. This is something that carriers can sell to you. You can have, a unlimited 5G data plan on Metro by T-Mobile. Let's take them for example, since they always love to just fudge with numbers. So Metro by T-Mobile, will have these unlimited plans. And that's the base, right? The downlink, the uplink, the latency, which latency just basically means how long does it take a file to get from point A to point B with that data connection. So those are the major plays. And that's what 5G was more primarily focused on. It was just focused on latency. Latency was one of the biggest things it was focused on, trying to get the latency speeds as low as possible. Like if you have, a 5 millisecond ping, that's pretty damn fast for files to transfer from point A to point B. Another analogy, it's like sticking a golf ball inside a garden hose and then turning on, the water, right? How fast does that golf ball get through the hose and out? That's latency. And that's what they're doing. So you have those plans from Metro, the base plans, which is just like a base line of downlink, uplink, and latency. And then what they'll do is they'll sell you on the fact as an additional charge, maybe $5, maybe $2.50, depends on the carrier, but they'll add on like, you struggle with downloading, and so you want better download speeds. So we'll sell you a slice of higher priority download, which means that anytime that you go to download something, you are prioritized above a bunch of people that didn't pay for that add-on. So this is going to be the battlefront of carriers, because they're going to be able to sell people on this. And while we could sit here on a live stream and complain like, oh, that's pretty greedy of them and everything, we've been complaining and complaining about lots of changes with carriers, yet we still use them. We still sign back up with them. Like even myself, right? So I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and just like point out everybody else. Even I have, I got pissed off with Google Fi. I left them for a couple years. I came back to them. I tried them out. They pissed me off. I left them again, came back to them. Now I left them again. I've been on Visible like more than how many times my fingers can count. I've been on Visible, for a long time, off and on. I've been on, Boost Mobile off and on. I've been on a lot of different prepaid carriers. Mobile X, I've been on them a couple of times on and off. So we always say like, yeah, we're done with them, we're leaving them, and then we end up going back to them because again, they hit us with the promo deals, they hit us with the new phones, they hit us with all these things, and that's what draws us back. So while people can say that's very greedy of them to have that considered their idea of what the future in the telco industry is going to be, it eventually makes sense, right? Like overall, for anyone out there, if you ever bought a car from a dealership and you get the base model, that's like buying the base plan. And then if you get like the base model, but you want upgraded leather seats, that's like buying a slice. That's buying an add-on. That's giving you leather seats. You can get leather seats and temperature control in your glove box. That's another slice, right? That's what I mean by like the types of things they're going to sell people on. It's almost as if you take the data connection and you make it modular, where you can just add in these features to enhance the experience with your carrier, and thus it makes it money. Because you think about it, like if you're on Metro and say you get 4 lines on Metro, that's $25 a line. That's $100 a month for 4 lines, right? But one person wants better latency to game and live stream. Somebody else wants better downloads. So then you add on and say like, for a higher download priority, it's $5. Say all these add-ons are $5, right? So if one person's like, I want downloads, latency, uplink, prioritized, right? That's $15 added on top of the $25 that you're paying for that line. So that's how it's going to go. And it's going to be very crazy. Let's see, from what I've seen, they slowed down Metro. So yes and no. T-Mobile is notorious for doing this, and a lot of people pretty much have pointed this out, like on Reddit and places like that. And I can confirm that this is something that's true. So like, there's about 4 towers near me that's T-Mobile towers, right? And these towers have been upgraded in order to support the T-Mobile home internet. But a little bit about like 5 p.m., like about 5, 6 p.m. around that time, when it's heavily congested, I noticed that certain towers go down, which means that like my speeds drastically reduce on both phone and on, the gateway. It goes down. And, when you look at apps to see, which tower you're connected to, which I use OpenSignal to see which tower I have a line of sight connection with. And I will see it bounce from one tower to another, but there's these two particular towers that I never connect to at a certain time. And they do this every couple of days. So I'll go like 2 or 3 days with like fantastic speeds, and then all of a sudden it's just boom, it's just like really crappy. And it's them turning off certain bands at certain times to what they say alleviate their network of congestion, but it's just them really just having the control. Because technically, if people don't think about it, the carriers actually have control over us. They actually do. Experimental test. I disabled the Wi-Fi in my home and then watched my kids, pretty much lose their mind with no Wi-Fi for a whole hour. That was just 1 hour. This is how crazy that society is today. We are so hooked on our smartphones, we forget the data that comes through is done by carriers. Carrier requirement for data connection. Carrier wants to punish you for not being a good customer, and they can start lowering, the signal strength in these bands that are outputted through these towers. And so that could be, something that really puts the power in their hands. Nian Deng, what's up, man? If I don't say it to you tomorrow, I'm gonna say it now, but have a safe and happy New Year's. Please do. So that's like, a very strong possibility. What the future is going to hold when it comes to the telco industry. They have the power. They know it. This is why T-Mobile keeps doing price hikes. They hike up their prices. They lower their prices. They hike it up. Right now, Verizon's lowering their prices, becoming more competitive again. And, only time will tell and see what happens. But yeah, these carriers know that they have the power. They do. It's just insanely crazy. So yeah. But anyways, been on here for 45 minutes already. Time is going by fast today. I got an Amazon Flex here in a little while that I do gotta do, so that's why I only planned for like a 1 hour live stream. But let me get this off my chest. Let me get this out there for everybody. 2025 was a fantastic year. In my opinion, it was. It was a year that I discovered, just how far did I really want to go with the content that I make? How far did I really want my channel to go? Was I going to just lay down and be like, okay, I'm an old timer, I'm done, I'm gonna hang it up? Or am I still gonna keep pushing until the wheels falls off? Which, I made my declaration that I'm gonna keep doing YouTube videos until nobody is watching them anymore. That is the idea. I thought one of my kids was trying to come in the room. I learned some new tactics. I've gotten some great advice from people out there. So those people that have given me advice and, told me to check out certain things to kind of help my channel maintain, because that's what it's doing right now. It's maintaining. I've gotten some good growth in 2025. I didn't end the year at 15,000 subscribers, but that's okay. We're getting close to it. We're at 14,000 subscribers, or 14,187 subscribers, I think. So we're getting there, little by little, surely enough. Slow growth is better than no growth. The views are getting a little better. I'm noticing certain videos that I've done have garnered over 1,000 views. That's great. Considering where the tech-based popularity is at today with just everyday viewers, not the nerds and the other content creators, because that's what YouTube is, right? It's like the views are made up of everyday viewers who enjoy watching videos about mobile tech. And it's also made up of content creators supporting each other by giving each other the views and the thumbs ups. And then the nerds who love to come here to try to make us look stupid by challenging us in the comments and reminding us that they feel like we're stupid. And it's just, we do it with a lot of that stuff here on YouTube. YouTube is like one of the most oddest and craziest places. But it's been a lot of fun for me, and it still remains to be fun for me. It is. I think one of the negatives of 2025 is that I've learned that the older you get, the more your body breaks down, the more a lot has changed, because like I say that, I'm excited to make content. I know sometimes I put out a video that doesn't even seem like I'm excited at all. And it's not that I'm not excited, it's that I've been tired a lot lately, hitting 43 years old, dealing with, the aging of my body betraying me, because certain things I used to be able to do in my 20s and 30s, I don't do anymore. And one of those things is that I used to be able to run on, like 2 hours of sleep and be able to like still put out a very enthusiastic attitude in the day, as long as I have a coffee or something. And today that doesn't happen, like I can get a low amount of sleep and still get up for the day, right? Like I think I went to bed last night at like 8 p.m. I woke up at midnight because I had a Amazon Flex at 3:45 in the morning, and so I stayed up. I haven't gone back to sleep. So literally from 8 p.m. to midnight, 4 hours of sleep is what I got. And when I'm going through the day, like getting tired hits me, but I can't go to sleep. And it's really hard to have an enthusiastic attitude come out when your body's tired. And so like I'm always trying to get these videos out because it's in the race of YouTube when it comes to information, first to the finish line. It's the mentality you got to have. You want to be first to the finish line. You want to be the first person to get the news out. You want to be the first person to unbox a phone, and you want to be the first person to try out a new service provider. Like, you want to be the first person because that's gonna it's gonna rack in the views. That's gonna get new people to follow, new people to join the conversations, and expanding your audience. Like, all these things are a big deal. And so like I'm trying to get this video out as quickly as possible, and I'm telling you guys what I know about the subject, but it sometimes just comes off very monotonish, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm gonna try 2026 to just keep everything as upbeat as possible as I can, but just also remember, like, my mindset's a little bit different. So the older you get, the wiser you get, the more things you've learned, and yeah, your personality does kind of change a little bit. I mean, I could still be an immature person at times. My wife gets annoyed at me, but there's times where it seems like that I'm super serious about things, and so I will try to liven things up a little bit better. I think that's like one of the things that I do want to change in 2026 with the channel itself. But the channel wouldn't be here without you guys. It wouldn't be here without you guys watching and supporting the channel and giving the likes, the thumbs ups, the hypes, and all that stuff. Like I said in the beginning of this live stream, I'm going to say at the end of this live stream also. And I'm very appreciative of that. And, I think one of the things I really much appreciate, like, I know I do things that may not be popular with everybody. I may change the format of how my videos are recorded from landscape to portrait. I may, do something like this. I'm always trying to change things up a little bit, and I think it's very cool, and I really, really love this about you guys. No one makes fun of me. Like, no one rips into me because I had an idea that just didn't pan out the way that I thought it would. Like, people will tell me, like, yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of when you use this microphone, or when you do a video this way. Like, everyone is pretty optimistic and gives very good feedback. I never had anyone that made fun of my mentality, made fun of me in that essence. And that's a big reason why I could do this. It's like I've told people before when I've had these really deep personal talk live streams, I've said I do have stage fright. Like, if you were to say come to CES, set up a booth to meet people, I would literally be sweating buckets. I would be literally shitting myself because I get stage fright. The only reason why I'm comfortable doing live streams on YouTube and making content is because I've done it for so many years. And those people that I connect with on here, who follow the channel, who subscribe to the channel, who have become my friends over so many plus years, they don't ever go that route as to make me feel like I'm low. You guys never done that to me, and I really, really appreciate that. And then all the new people subscribing and everything, I appreciate that. And I hope my videos are not only informative, but a bit fun. Like, I know I probably could do more. There's always room for improvement. That's my mentality. So I don't think that I have like the perfect best, you know, um, layout of videos. I know that there's more that I can do to make it better, more that I can do to make it more fun, and I'm going to explore those things and continue to do those things as I create content. So in 2026, a lot of Pixel videos coming. Of course, a lot more talks about the telco industry. I'm going to be doing a lot of talks about that, not just reviewing prepaid plans and stuff like that, but also talking about what I've learned about the 5G network. Um, and of course 6G and stuff like that, and also be focusing on direct-to-device satellite connection with phones, because that seems to be the future that's coming up. So there's like a lot of things that's coming through, and of course I'm going to continue making more short-form content. And if you guys haven't noticed, a lot of the short-form content is just content that's just ripped from the actual long-form videos. Certain parts that I thought like were really points I wanted to drive to people. And so I would basically break those into a little short form video, maybe about like a 60-second video long. And so, yeah, those are there too. So if you guys aren't catching the shorts, go catch them. Sometimes they're original content. Sometimes they're just, like I'll point and vlog into the camera for like 3 minutes, because like a YouTube shorts can be up to 3 minutes long. And so like I'll do that. And then there's, where like from this live stream later on, I will rip certain segments out and make them into 1 minute shorts, and have it so people that are into like they have the whole ADHD thing, that they don't watch long form content, they watch short form. Well, they can find and discover my channel, and they can see that I also have long form content too. And maybe they're not into long form, maybe they really like watching only short form like TikToks. But there'll be a time where they'll see like a long form video, just be like, oh, let me see what this is all about, and actually click on it and watch the whole thing, whether it's 18 minutes long or 50, whatever. And so, yeah, I'm trying to make something for everybody. And the balance that I've discovered about shorts, because I said in the beginning of the year, shorts nearly killed my channel. But it was the type of short form content. Like I was making, a Pixel 5a review, completely original content, and then in short form and in long form, when it would have just been better to take highlights from the long form and make those the short form, right? So they run in tandem as you link the shorts to the long form video. And so I wasn't utilizing that. And, yeah, you just have to make sure that what you're making is in tandem with what's kind of like currently going on at the time. So if I drop a video about the Pixel 9a, over the next 2 days, I'll probably make a couple of shorts based on something about the Pixel 9a, and that's just going to be the thing. And so that'll change up a little bit. Every now and then, a little bit of like, original content, something that I didn't make a long form version of, but not so much of that, but at the same time, basically what I'm saying is that there's going to be long form for people, there's going to be short form for people, and I'm just trying to cater to an audience and bring them some informative videos that they can, enjoy to watch. That's the overall plan. I do want to have more people kind of come on a live stream with me and kind of talk. So yes, I'm going to have to utilize like StreamYard or Restream, whichever one of those two. But yeah, I'll still podcast, solo podcast. I'll still be doing that. And, maybe some more mobile live streams. Mobile live streams do very well. As a matter of fact, mobile live streams will pick out what it feels is like the most highlighted point of your live stream and make that into a shorts. It's really cool. I haven't done a mobile live stream in a while. Been doing mostly, podcast format style, but I'll do some more when I go hiking, or when I go on vacation. Spring break, I'm going on vacation, so that's something I'll probably share with you guys. But yeah, I want to say, as you're celebrating bringing in the new year tomorrow, please, for the love of everything in this world that you hold dearly to you, be responsible, be safe, do not drink and drive. Try to get to where you're going safely. Do not bounce around locations and expect Ubers and Lyfts to, get you from point A to B, C, D, E, F, G, and back to A safely. There are other people out there who are, not going to heed the law about, drinking and driving. And so even you being sober and in a taxi or something could still put you at risk. Go to a designated party, somewhere that you know for sure you want to be at to bring in the new year. Stay there. Safely bring in the new year. Be careful of your surroundings where you go. If you're watching fireworks, enjoy the show. If you're popping fireworks, be very careful. Do not light yourself on fire. You know, just be here in 2026. I want to see everybody back in 2026. I want to be able to chat with everybody in 2026. And so I just ask you guys, just, you know, be safe. Be very safe out there. You know, I have a tremendous amount of love for all of you. I don't know you guys personally. I don't hang out in the same areas as you. We don't go to lunches together. We don't kick back at the parks. We don't do a lot, right? Because we're all in different areas of the country. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I really do feel like that I am getting sick. Anyways, but you know, I'll say that I still have a lot of love for you guys. You know, because the years of being able to listen to what you guys are telling me, and you know, the feedback that you guys give, and just like how there's this incredible level of respect. Like, I can have an opinion that some of you guys will disagree with, and you guys will voice that you disagree with me on those opinions, but it's never anything where we clash. That's just what I love about this channel. That's why, you know, like, a lot of my stuff is primarily focused on this channel than other social platforms, even though I try to post outside of YouTube. But I'm always more than enough posting video content here, and it's just for that very reason. I couldn't ask for a better set of friends. I call you guys friends. I don't know you guys personally, but I still call you guys my friends here on YouTube. Because calling you guys subscribers just seems very cold and uninterested. And I am interested in you guys as much as you guys are interested in the videos I put out. And that's why I like having these live streams. And I tell people to chat. Like, you know, if you're new to the channel and you're watching the live stream but you never chat, don't be afraid to chat. I'm not a dickhead where I'm going to rip you in front of everybody on here. I love people to have dialogue and to be able to express what they feel and think within the parameters of what we're talking about. You know, I don't dig to the troll BS, and we just block them. I just have my mods block trolls. But, you know, you don't have to agree with the masses or myself. You can have your own opinion on things, and I welcome it. I welcome it because I can respect it. The same as I would ask that you give the same respect for my my opinions and beliefs, even though you disagree with them. You don't have to change your viewpoint. Just understand that if I'm not going to budge and change my thoughts on a certain thing, just respect that. I'm like, okay, we can agree to disagree and move on. And that's what makes you guys so awesome. You guys are wonderful for that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. When I have these live streams, I love it because I love to see what you guys say. When I drop videos, I love to see your guys' comments and what you guys think. You know, everybody that comments, whether they have, you know, positive feedback on the video, negative feedback on the video, it's all welcome. You know, I don't banish anybody outside to the phantom zone because they didn't agree with me. Like, I don't dig that. I think everyone should have, you know, their little individual side of them and have it respected, as well as being, you know, one thing that we all do have in common is that we all like talking, discussing, and listening about tech, whether it's smartphones, tablets, home computing, AI, or telco. We like it all. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'll be back in 2026. I'll see you guys next year. Once I get that file from OnePlus to unlock the bootloader on my OnePlus 9, I will definitely be showing you guys how to install EvoX Android 16, which they just released it on the 11th, right? So wow, in the middle of December. I didn't know why I didn't look at this, but I already have all the necessary files downloaded. I just need that unlock token from OnePlus to unlock the OnePlus 9, and then I can go through the whole fast boot to flash, you know, all the recovery to get into recovery, so I can ADB sideload the ROM and flash it onto the OnePlus 9. Of course, forfeiting all the fun features of Oxygen OS, but gaining more life with Android 16. And I downloaded the regular Android 16, not the vanilla. So the Android 16 I downloaded has Google services on it. The vanilla doesn't. So, I mean, if you have a OnePlus 9, you want to install this on your phone, well, now you know the difference between these two right here. And again, big shout out to Giovanni, Tech Panel GM, and for basically building us this version of Evolution X 11.4.2 based on Android 16. Big shout out, give them some donos. But yeah, that's I'll leave it at that. You know, again, you guys want to follow me on social platforms outside of YouTube, right down there, you guys see it. Instagram, X, you got to follow me there. The reason I only threw Instagram, which is over there, is just because Threads is connected to it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll likely end up auto-following me on Threads if that's your preferred microblogging site. Anyone that wants to send any donos to help out the channel for whatever reason, right there, that's my Venmo username. So you guys can send it to Venmo. And oh yeah, one last thing. So I never really heavily pushed for my apparel. And I forgot to pre-order some samples. So I'm gonna order some samples in the beginning of 2026, like some hoodies, some t-shirts, and stuff like that. And you're gonna be seeing me wearing them. But I am also, because my daughter's really badass at drawing, so I'm actually gonna have her start designing me some exclusive logo shirts that I'm gonna start selling on the channel. If you guys want to cop one, you know. So, but all that will be talked about next year. Next year is the plan. So, you know, pretty much, you know, until then, you know, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I love you guys very much. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one in 2026. And have a happy new year.